Alright guys, so before we get into Passport, I was just going to, go ahead and install it and stuff, but I want to create our routes first, okay? So we need a login route with a login form, and then we also need a registration route with a register form. So let's go ahead and do that before we even get into Passport. So if we go down to our routes in our main app file, we have all of our idea routes here, and we'll just keep going and going. And finally, the last one is the delete idea route. So right here, we're going to say user login route. All right, so this will be an app.get, and it's going to be /users/login. All right, we'll put our callback or arrow function with our request and response. And for now, let's just say res.send, and we'll say login. All right, so we'll go ahead and save that. And now we should be able to go to /users/login, and we get login. So let's do the same thing with register. We'll go ahead and paste this in. We'll say user register route, and we'll change this to user/register, and we'll just say res.send register. All right, so now we can go to user/register, and ultimately we want to load a template. Now, before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit about the Express router. Now, as you can see, our app.js file is just getting crammed. Okay, there's way too much in here. There's no reason to have all of our routes, and you can imagine if we added more models and more functionality, these routes, it's just endless. So what we're going to do is implement the Express router so that we can put routes in a separate file. Okay, each resource will get its own route folder. So to do that, we're going to create a new folder in our root. Oops, right in our root, and we're going to call this routes. Okay, and we're going to have two files in here. One is going to be called ideas.js, and then the other is going to be called users.js. All right, so what I want to do is put any route that has to do with ideas into our ideas route file. Now, in order for this to work, we have to do a couple things here. So one, we need to bring in Express. So we'll say Express equals require Express. All right, another thing we need to do is we need to bring in the router from Express. So we're going to say const router equals express.router. Okay, like that. And then at the bottom here, we need to export this so that we can access it from other files. So for that, we use module.exports. Okay, so module.exports equals router. So we're exporting the router. Now, all of our routes that have to do with ideas, let's go to app.js and let's grab all of them. Basically, anything that starts with /ideas. So let's see, not the index or about, but right here, the get request to /ideas. All right, we want the forms, we want all the post requests, the put request, and the delete. So all this stuff I'm going to just cut out, and I'm going to put that right inside of here. All right, now if we leave this as is, it's not going to work. There's two things we need to do. One, we don't have access to this app anymore since we're in here, but we want to use the router. Okay, so we're going to change all the apps to router. So we'll say router.get or router.post or put or delete or whatever. All right, so router.get, let's just copy that, and we'll go ahead and just replace all these. All right, so we define our routes like that, and then its router is getting exported. Another thing we want to do is just remove /ideas, because what we're going to do is in app.js, we're going to just define anything that begins with /ideas is going to get connected to this route file. So anything with ideas, we're just going to get rid of. So if we just have a slash, this basically is going to mean /ideas since it's in the ideas route file. All right, hopefully that makes sense. This will be just /add. This will be /edit ID. Okay, this will be just slash. So basically just get rid of all the ideas in the route, or in the URL, sorry. That'll just be /ID. This will be /ID, and that's good. All right, so let's save this. Now our application, if we go to ideas, let's see. It actually, oh, did I not? I didn't save app.js, but it's going to break. Okay, it says cannot get ideas. What we have to do now is link that routing file, that ideas.js, to our app.js file. So to do that, let's go, let's see, we'll go right here and we'll say load routes. Okay, so since we exported it, remember we have that module.exports router. Now we can bring it into this file. So we'll create a variable called ideas, and we're going to set it to require, and then that route file, which is going to be ./routes/ideas. Okay, so it's looking in this routes file at ideas. You don't need to put .js. All right, now that's the first thing we need to do. The next thing we need to do is we need to use down here, or I like to put it at the bottom. We're going to say use routes, and we do app.use, and we're going to say anything that goes to /ideas/anything is going to pertain to that ideas file. Okay, so if it goes to /ideas/add, like over here, /ideas/add, it's going to talk about this route right here. Okay, even though here it doesn't say ideas/add, since it's in this ideas file and we basically linked it here, that's what it's going to call. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So let's go ahead and save this, and let's reload. Ideas not defined. Okay, so what's happening now is in our routes we're using the idea model, right? But we didn't bring it into this file. We did bring it into app.js. So what we can do is just grab it. I don't think we need it anymore in app.js, so we'll just cut it out here and save, and then we'll bring it into the routes. Okay. Now this is going to change a little bit because now we're inside the routes folder, so we have to go outside and then into models. So we need to do a // // means that we're in the same folder, but we need to go outside of it, so we're going to add an extra dot. So let's save that and reload. And let's see, it looks like we get another error. Mongoose is not defined. That's another thing. We need to bring in Mongoose, because right here we're saying mongoose.model. It doesn't know what Mongoose is. So let's bring that in. Okay, and let's try it again. Let's see if that, okay, so there we go. So now it should be working as expected. Let's go ahead and go to add idea. That should work. So we'll say CSS crash course and submit. Okay, so that works good. We can edit. Course on CSS3. We'll say CSS3 crash course, submit. Good. So everything's now working as it was, and we've cleaned up the app.js file a little bit. Now let's do the same thing with our users, okay? Because now we have users log in and register. So we'll go to our routes, go to users, and we're going to basically, let's grab this and put that in here. And we need to export the router just like we did in the other file. So module.export, or module.export, sorry. And we want to export the router. All right, and then we'll grab the routes from the app.js, the two user routes. We'll cut them out, and we'll put them in our users.js route file. And remember, we want to remove this, the users. It's just going to be /login and /register. And then we'll go back to the app.js, and we'll go ahead and do the same thing. We'll load up the user route. So we'll say const users set that to the routes users file, and then down at the bottom we'll go ahead and use that route. So we'll say /users and pass in users. All right, close that up. All right, so let's try that. So we should still now be able to go to users/login, or not. What do we got down here? App is not defined. Oh, we didn't replace app with router. All right, so let's try it again. There we go. We should be able to go to /register, and good. All right, so now that we have our router set up, we can now go ahead and create the forms for our register and login. So that's what we're going to do next.